Hello, my name is Svend-Erik Enghe. I'm a Danish storyteller now living in Edinburgh. I'm here to tell you about the Runestone of Edinburgh. It was made in 1040 in Sweden by Erik, and it was brought here to Edinburgh by Alexander Seton in 1787. I will show you the stone, I will talk more about how it came here, and I will tell you what's written on the stone. But right now, I will walk over to the grave of Ensign Edward, and that I will call a modern runestone. In 2017, when I came to Edinburgh, I saw a runestone for the first time in my life. I'm from Denmark, and a runestone it's not something you see in my country where I come from. So when I came up here to the Princess Street Garden, walked up the paths here and saw these wonderful people from the Society of Antiquaries standing next to a stone, and I was told that this stone was 1,000 years old. I was fascinated. I remember I stood next to it and my hosts were talking, and I was nearly touching it, but I couldn't, because it was like this stone was old and told me a story, an old story from long time ago. And Erik, my name is Svend-Erik, it was like I felt a brotherhood with this man 1,000 years ago. There's a building here in Edinburgh, and they're very proud of that. Everybody here in Edinburgh talks about that St. Margaret Chapel is from 1140, but this stone was actually older. And then the story of how it came to Edinburgh. When Alexander Seton, who had his estate not far from Linglithgow and in Sweden, up at Uppsala, not far from Stockholm, just north of Stockholm. And in that area, there are lots of runestones. And when Alexander Seton wanted to give a gift to the society, he decided, why not take that stone? They have to bring it 70 miles to the harbour on a ship all the way to Edinburgh, to Leith. And they brought it down to Canongate, where it was for 40 years, and then they decided to give it as a gift to the Princess Street Garden. And that's why I saw it for the first time here at the Princess Street Garden. This beautiful grey stone with runes all around it. When they brought the stone from Canongate up here, they had to carry it, transport it on the Royal Mile. I will go down to the Royal Mile and will find my way to the museum where the next stop is. I'm sitting in front of the National Museum of Scotland, and the runestone is under the care of the National Museum of Scotland. The runestone is not here behind these walls. We will go later to George Square where we will find the runestone. But here you will also find in the basement there are traces of the Vikings. When the Vikings came here to Scotland, they made their marks. One of the marks is that in Shetland, there's 50% of the DNA is from the Norse, and in Orkney it's about 30. But not only that, when I heard the word bairn for the first time, I immediately reacted, because that's so similar to the Danish word barn. And another thing, my favorite, is a ting. When you hold a ting, it means that you sit around and talk and listen, really deeply listen. And that tradition the Vikings brought here to Scotland. Up in Shetland there's a Lorting home. It's an island in the middle of a lake, and when people came to that island to make the ting, they brought with them a piece of their own land to stand on, so they could talk freely and deeply about matters that were important for them. So the ting is a Viking gift to the Scots people, and they loved it. They did that for about 400 years. Now, I will take you down to George Square, where we will talk a little about the runes, and I will teach you how to read the runestone. Follow me. Now we are at George Square, not far from George Square number 50, where we will find the runestone. And just a few words about the runes. They were originally made on wood with a chisel. And when you have a chisel and a piece of wood, you only can make lines and angles. So if this is a rune, it would be an eye. And here we will have, from your side, it will be the A, and from this side, an N. And if you cross it over here, you will have the H. So everything on runes are lines and angles. The magic of the runes. The Norse experienced the runes like something that was beyond just letters. There were magic in them. And when Odin, the Allfather of the Norse gods, wanted to know the secret of the runes, he hanged in Ask Yggdrasil for 9 days and 9 nights. And when his wife came with water to him, he refused to drink. He refused to eat anything. He was hanging there for 9 days and 9 nights with nothing. And after these 9 nights and 9 days, suddenly it was clear for him what the runes meant. And he climbed down from the tree, and after that he knew the secrets of the runes, and therefore he knew the past. Because if you can read a rune, you know about the past of your tribe. Now we will move forward just around the corner from here, and we will go to George Square number 50, where we will find the runestone. Finally, we are at the runestone. And as you can see, it's not a stone that you just move around. And yet, this stone has been moved at least 3 times. First, from Sweden to Edinburgh down in Canongate. Then from Canongate up to the Princess Street Garden. And now it was moved to George Square, as we can find it right here. It's a story of 1,000 years that calls us, and it's a personal story from Erik to us. When you look at it, first of all, you will notice the snake. And the snake is all around here, the head here and the tail there. And it's all around the stone. And then you will notice the cross. So it is in the breaking time of the Nordic country, the Scandinavian countries. In Sweden, Christianity swept all over in around 1000. So we have the snake as a symbol of the Old Norse gods, and you have the cross as a symbol of Christianity. When I say that it's also a message from Erik, my name brother, one of the messages is this. If you look here, you will see that this R is right in, like it's in between two letters and it's squeezed in. And at one point, as he was writing this beautiful message here, he found that there was an R missing. So we had to make it. And I know that when I work, sometimes I miss things out. And somebody comes to me and say, there's an R missing, Erik. And Erik went like, oh yeah, I just put it in. I'll read it for you, I'm sorry. We start here in the head of the snake. What you have here is the first word, going from here to here to here, and this means the end of the word and the beginning of a new. So here we have an A and an R and an I. That means Ari. And here we go with the rasti, means that it made the stone, rested stenen, or of the runes, or it also means that it raised the stone. And here we have aftir, and it is rasti stein, aftir, hjalm, fator, here we have you, sin. Kuth means God. That's a Christian symbol. Hjalpi, to help. The spirit, and his spirit. So it is actually Ari made the stone after Hjalm, his father. God help his spirit. That is the inscription of this beautiful rune stone from 1,000 years ago. And that is what we have to tell you here about the Runestone of Edinburgh. Come around, it's down by the George Square, just behind the Scandinavian Institute. Look for yourself, maybe sit, read the runes as I have taught you, or go on one of our tours. The website will contain more information as well.